What's up, guys? So today I'm going to be showing you guys a little bit of tips and tricks on driving a manual. I've been getting a lot of questions like what RPMs do I shift at, how do I go into reverse without riding the clutch, things like that, and I'll add a couple other things here. But that's just going to be the basic gist. We're just going to be driving around. I got the camera on the shifter, the RPMs, the foot, and then obviously the cabin view, just so you guys can get an idea of just how I'm driving. And if you're just kind of new to stick, this might help you just kind of get a little bit better at it, or just kind of understand what I'm doing at certain points. So to start out with, we'll just do something super simple. We'll do reversing. So obviously you're going to clutch in, we're going to go into reverse. Now that I'm in reverse, you're going to take your foot off the brake, and then the idea behind reversing is you're not going to be releasing it normally like you would in first gear. You're just going to slowly kind of get it going just a little bit, just like that. And now I don't even need to give it any more gas. So you just kind of roughly engage the clutch. So we'll do reverse again here. So clutch in, into reverse, and then just kind of get it started. And that's all you really need to do. And let's say I'll actually go up the driveway so you guys can get a better feeling, but you really just to get yourself going, and then you just clutch in, if that makes sense. All right, so another habit of mine that I used to do a lot is, and I still sometimes do, is I kind of rest my foot on the clutch. Now, if you can rest your foot on the clutch without actually actuating it, that's fine. It's just good practice to not do that. Just good practice to just, when you're not shifting, get your foot away from the clutch. That way you're not going to be riding it. So just a good practice not to have your foot on the clutch. When you're ready to shift, you can get it ready and then do the shift. So that's just something to consider. So we'll just do like, now when we're talking about, what RPM should you shift at, it's all gonna come down to really personal preference on like what kind of situation you're in. So like in a situation here, there's no cars coming and I just kind of want to chill maybe. This is just kind of I'm not even gonna look at the RPM, I'm just gonna shift that just by sound. A little bit, it's roughly 2,500 to 3,000 RPM. It's just kind of what I shift at. So sometimes I notice people seem to lug the engine a lot when driving stick. So a lot of people think they just need to shift into the next gear. So like for this speed, there'd be no point for me to upshift. I'm under 2,000 RPMs. The engine's happy, I can give it gas, I can get good power coming out of it. Some people just get kind of too eager or think like, oh, I have to shift. You don't have to shift nearly as much as you think. I think a lot of people, especially when they're driving a different car for the first time, they're just always eager to get to the next gear, and then usually it just kind of lugs the engine. So I'll kind of, you can take a listen. This is kind of what it would be for lugging the engine. So right there, it's just the RPMs are too low. Just keep the RPMs, when I'm tooling around, 1.5K is really nice. 1.8, something like that. It's good there. I'm just gonna do like a medium acceleration, so just something a little bit different than just tooling around. But hopefully this is just kind of helping you just kind of get a feel for what I'm doing. So I guess that's another that's going to be another thing. Is I wasn't even really going to have an RPM cam, but I figured some of you guys would like to kind of see. But basically just how I shift and how I drive is just kind of based off of sound. Once you get used to your car, you kind of get a feel for, where your power band is, what gear you need to be in, at what speeds. So. But, coming up to this corner, I'm above 1,000 RPM. I don't really have to shift. I could downshift to first, but if you're ever lugging the engine, as long as you're not really giving it a ton of gas, you're fine. Like you saw just around the corner there, I would say it's probably lugging the engine a little bit. I'm at 1,000 RPM, but I just lightly give it some throttle. Not a whole lot of throttle, just a little bit. Ready? All right, we're gonna have to give her a little bit here. So those are just some additional pointers I kind of wanted to give you guys on what RPM to shift at. I usually always completely ignore the shift light in the TJ, especially with bigger tires. That's another good point. I have 373 gears with a 5-speed with 35-inch tires. So my RPM and my speed is going to be probably way different than yours is, unless you have the same setup as me. So, if I got smaller tires, I'm going to be able to get moving a lot faster than I am with these big tires. These big tires take a lot more to get going. So that's just something to consider. Hopefully this gives you guys just kind of a good idea of just kind of how I shift, what RPM I'm at, kind of what I'm doing while I'm driving, and hopefully it helps you guys. So if it did, definitely give the video a thumbs up. That helps me out a bunch, guys. And definitely consider subscribing if you're not subscribed already. That helps me out a bunch. And we'll catch you guys in the next video.